Hey y'all, it's Amanda and this is my Texas Zone 8 garden, and before we dive in, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this on your Facebook page. We are on day 4, last day, best day of my mother-in-law's garden, and it is looking absolutely beautiful. I am so excited about it. And just a few things about what we've done so far. There's 3 other videos if you want to go check them out. We cleared the space, we removed landscape fabric, we checked all the drip irrigation, we installed foundation shrubs like abelias and blue point junipers and a beautiful Ruby Falls weeping redbud foundation plant. This one will get about 6 to 8 feet tall and be the major focal point in here, which will be lovely. Then we went through and we added a series of perennials, including coneflowers, some lamb's ear, some Texas rock rose, some salvia, absolutely beautiful. And then after that, we went ahead and set up some containers in different areas to create interest within the garden, especially since it's a baby garden. We needed some plants, some containers and stuff to fill in areas until the shrubs and such mature. And then yesterday we came through and we added beautiful annuals to all the containers, as well as drip irrigation, which is exciting. And here we are in the last day. The things we're going to be doing today, I have to remember to fix a leak over here. So I'm going to show you all how to fix a leak in your drip irrigation. We are going to be putting in just a few annuals in a few locations, such as this location and a little area over here. We are going to be mulching all of the beds with a beautiful cedar mulch, which is my favorite kind of mulch. And then we are going to be adding in a few decorative elements. My mother-in-law has some small statues, some small garden art. Also, one of y'all suggested a bird bath. She has a beautiful bird bath, and I think it would be lovely right back here. So we might see about moving that to this space. Hers isn't doing anything in the backyard anyway, and it would be beautiful up front here. And yeah, I'm super excited. This has been a long project, but very rewarding. I felt good every day when I left, and it really is fun to see a space go from absolutely nothing to something as beautiful as this. So let's go ahead and start with that drip irrigation. Okay, right here we have a slice that I think that I did with the root slayer, and so I've got like a big mark right there. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just cut out the part that I punctured. And when you're not cutting out more than, you know, what is this, like less than an inch, you don't have to adjust necessarily for the length of your hose or anything. You can come in with something as simple as a straight line coupler to fit the size of your hose and go ahead and put that in. And then you're good, all fixed. Super simple and easy. One of the big things is just making sure that you have the parts needed to handle the situation. But yep, that's pretty much it. All fixed, all taken care of, and we can move on to more fun stuff. Okay, because it went so well with annuals in the containers, I'm not going to fill the beds with as many annuals as I had originally thought. I just have just a few. So let's talk through the ones that we're doing. I picked up, this is a tricolor sweet potato vine, and it's by Proven Winners. And it's heat tolerant, no deadheading, foliage interest, award winner. It gets about 24 to 36 inches wide, and it has this beautiful variegation. So I was like, I think that would be beautiful. I've grown it before in containers, and it's absolutely beautiful. So I'd love to try it in the garden. Sweet potato vine goes bonkers here. It does really, really great. And I like that this is not the lime green or the really dark purple, although I do like both of those, just not for Cheryl's garden. And so go ahead and utilizing it. This color, I feel really excited about that. So I got a few of those. And then I also picked up some zinnias. Now they're a little bit worse for wear in some areas, so I do need to do a little bit of defoliating just to clean up some of the leaves. I think it's because they're all shoved together. And and the leaves weren't really getting any sun. So I think once I get them to the ground, everything's going to look really, really nice. But I got some zinnias. These are some low growing zinnias that have some really beautiful pink colors in them. And I thought that those would be really nice as well. So let me go ahead and place these. Okay, so it's just a little bit more of pink color, and I'm really trying to do things that will layer in. It's very easy to go and buy what's pretty in the nursery and stick it all out here, and then nothing's blooming in 4 weeks, right? So I really trying to be smart about what I'm layering in here. The zinnias, we can continue to deadhead those, and those will produce all the way until our first frost. That sweet potato vine will continue to produce beautiful foliage and color for quite a while. We also have coneflowers, where if you deadhead these coneflowers, they will keep going and going. Even the salvia, once the salvia gets to an ending point, we can cut it back by 50% and it will reproduce new blooms. So trying to be really smart so that she doesn't just have a beautiful, colorful garden that in 4 weeks has nothing, right? So trying to be really smart about how we approach that. So let's go through and get all of these planted. We are going to be planting with plant tone. Okay, so I got to be honest, I am so behind on answering comments on YouTube. You guys know how I am. I'm usually really on top of it, and I try to answer them fairly quickly. This project has been all-consuming, so I apologize that I'm behind, but I will catch up. We've got, my son has a baseball tournament this weekend, which means there will be hours of me hanging out, and I'll have my cell phone with me and use the opportunity to try to get all caught up on all of that. Oh yeah, these zinnias want it out. I'm not going to mess with their roots too much. Actually, I really shouldn't have just done what I did. Zinnias don't like their roots to be messed with. I should have just put it straight in. So just for reference, don't do what I just did. I'm sure these will be fine. Also, just so you know, these plants, there's 4 plants in here. So I could spread these out. I'm not, well, should I? I know they don't want their roots to be messed with. Okay, we're going to spread them out a little bit. I'm sure they'll be fine. So they get lots of water and everything they need. Yeah, that would be nice, because then I can spread a little bit of color into a couple of other places in the garden. I don't think I'm going to divide all of them up, though. I haven't been in my garden in several days. Just glanced out there this morning, and I'll have lilies starting to bloom, which is totally exciting. I was gonna see if maybe I can get, after work tomorrow, if Jeff will do a garden tour with me. End of May garden tour, I think would be really nice and fun. Tricolor sweet potato vine is a trailing ornamental vine known for its striking variegated leaves in shades of green, pink, and creamy white. It grows 6 to 12 inches tall with a spread of 3 to 6 feet, making it ideal for hanging baskets, containers, or ground cover. This vine thrives in full sun to part shade and is hardy in zones 9 through 11. It's heat tolerant, fast growing, and adds a vibrant splash of color to any summer garden. So in one of my Facebook pages, gardening Facebook pages for like my local gardening community yesterday, there is a lady really upset about people buying from Home Depot or big box stores, about how that doesn't support local nurseries. And I can understand that thought process. But like today, I'm at Home Depot picking up these zinnias and Altman Farms, which is, you can read on any containers local to your big box store. This one is from Altman Plants in Giddings, Texas. And that is a local nursery that hires and supports a lot of workers in our area, and they grow everything local. It's really great. And they have a contract with Home Depot. And buying from Home Depot, while yes, I always try to get over to my local nurseries if possible, I don't feel as bad about buying from my Home Depot because they're supplied by a local nursery. And even today when I was up there at Home Depot, all the Altman's Plants people, they always have green shirts and tags and hats on, and they were up there stocking and caring for the plants and the whole thing. So it's something to consider on your big box stores. If you don't have a choice, that's great. Go to big box stores. You'd be surprised. Look on the labels of your plants. You might be surprised at where they came from. They might be more local than you realize. I love how I'm all like, don't mess with the roots of the zinnias, and I proceed to rip them all apart. Okay, and then I'm gonna put one right on the edge here. I think it'll be nice. Okay, mulch. I prefer to use cedar blend mulch. This cedar blend mulch is from Home Depot. Usually I get mine from Living Earth, which is a company local to my area, and they do a fundraiser for the marching band that my kids are in. And so usually I think I bought like 75 bags this year from them, which I've already gotten through all of those. But anyway, so we're going to come through. I like cedar mulch. I like the look of it. I like the color of it. I also, in my head, it's a pest deterrent because it's cedar. Have I ever read that anywhere? No. But in my head, that's how it works. So I'm going to be going through and I'm going to be adding a couple of inches of mulch. Now, I did want to talk about, let's look at this coneflower right here. I'm not going up and under the foliage of these plants. I'm just going to the edge, the outskirts of the edge of the greenery. Don't want to shove a bunch of mulch up underneath any of these plants because it can lead to fungal disease and issues like that, and I really don't want to deal with that. So you do have to be kind of gentle in the beginning on some of these smaller plants, but then once I get towards the back, it'll be a lot better. And I feel like when I first really got going on gardening, I feel like I didn't understand the importance of mulch. And mulch is a game changer for the North Texas area. If you're having trouble keeping plants alive during the hot summers or during our ridiculous winters, mulch is your friend. It helps with moisture retention, but it also helps with temperature control, which is super important in the North Texas area. Okay, what a difference some mulch can make. Got a kink somewhere. So, yes, mulch makes a massive difference. Helps unify the beds, helps protect all the drip irrigation lines instead of them just sitting out in the scalding heat. Helps with moisture retention, temperature control. Good stuff. It's worth every penny. Every penny. And if you can do something like do what I do and buy from a local fundraiser, Boy Scouts, marching bands, lots of marching bands do mulch sales. Help your community and help your garden, which is great. Okay, so I'm back. I had to do all the things. I had to take one child to trombone lessons. I had a guard meeting. We had piano lessons, baseball. We had all the things. So I had to step away for a little bit. Okay, it's looking really good with everything mulched. I'm very excited about that. All right, so my next step is to start adding in some of her garden decor. I'm not looking to go buy garden decor or anything like that. I really just want to focus on some of the stuff that she has and getting it out and into the garden. A lot of it is just piled up in the back or in her garage or things like that. So I want to be able to use some of these out in the space. Now, my philosophy for garden decor is if it's really small, like a small thing, I like to have a grouping of small things instead of trying to put a lot of little things spread out where you don't really notice them. If it's larger things, I tend to have them alone by themselves as, you know, a statement piece. Now, I did bring one thing on my own to go ahead and add to the space. I don't think it's going to be permanent, but I wanted to see what it would look like. Okay, I wanted to have a trellis right here. Now, this is what I have on hand. Do I think this is the correct trellis? No. But I wanted to see really what it looked like so that if I do like it in this space, which I already do, then I can start keeping an eye out on Facebook Marketplace for one that I think is a little bit more decorative and interesting. I also think it would be very cool. I'm not going to do it now, but early spring of next year, I can start her some clematis from bare root that we can put here and climb up through. Theoretically pink, but I'm also thinking purple would be really pretty growing up through this space. But I did want to have the trellis there, so just so I could have a really good look at what that was going to look at and then the potential for this space. Okay, she has, and I know we're on the porch, but she has this cute little basket, which I'm not going to put anything in it right now. I thought this would be a great opportunity to drop packages. If she has Amazon packages, things like that, instead of just throwing them on the ground. I also think it would be a great opportunity to perhaps fill this with some terracotta containers that have like succulents and cactus, something like that, that she can just leave up here. They can get lots of sun and she doesn't have to stress about them. But I think that'll be for a future project. Okay, in front of this window, I'm going to put a beautiful vintage bird bath that she has. She has this old Texas stepping stone where the top of it broke off. So she's going to throw it away, but we might as well just use it for back here to be able to put the bird bath on top. Now, don't tell Jeff that I lifted this. He'll be so mad. Now, I don't think I can get it centered perfectly over here. And do I want it centered perfectly? I kind of think no. I think I'm actually going to shift it this way a little bit. And I want it to be purposefully not centered. All right. There we go. I like it. Yes, that looks great. I love it. She can always put a hanging basket in there if she wants, but it adds just enough interest to that back area. And then eventually the shrubs will grow up and it'll be a little more hidden so we can move it to a different spot. Oh, I love it. Okay, I forget which one of y'all said to do this. Whichever one of y'all who said to do it, genius. And we already had it, so it's free. Awesome. I like this happy little Buddha. Pretty sure that's something my father-in-law picked up years ago. Very important message right here for the grandchildren. I also really like to place sculpture at the base of like a container or something. This is a sweet little swan. And I know the lantana is kind of around it, but I think that adds to the nostalgia. All right, and then finally, we got a mama frog and a baby frog. Okay. And we are done. That was a big project, y'all. All right, let's walk through. Beautiful pot here, filled with sun-loving annuals, some fireworks fountain grass that will grow beautiful and tall with a Texas rock rose tucked behind it. Oh, I didn't show me putting in these. That was beautiful. And then we've got the sweet little statues and a sweet potato vine up front, tricolor sweet potato vine. Over here, this is for future endeavors. We're going to potentially grow a clematis on there. And we've got the Helen von Stein lands there at the base. Tucked into this front area, we have the grandchildren welcome, parents by appointment sign in front of this sweet little pot. Once again, filled with sun-loving annuals, including trailing vinca, azuratum, and verbena. Trailing down to one of the initial foundation plants, a magic Mytilene ground cover rose, some zinnia annuals, and another sweet potato vine, tricolored sweet potato vine. We have a double play Big Bang spirea, which will have pinkish red blooms, a trio of sombrera fuchsia fandango coneflower, and those are perennials. We have a Rose Creek abelia, which will also have blooms, and you can actually see a few of them blooming white right there. Back to a trio of sunloving annuals. Another Rose Creek abelia, two beautiful, Sally Fun Snow White spirea, salvia. Have our bird bath tucked in, kaleidoscope abelia, another container of sun-loving annuals. We have two of the Blue Point junipers, some more of the pink zinnia annuals, and an additional sweet potato vine. Coming around here, we didn't do as much this direction because eventually this beautiful Ruby Falls Weeping Redbud will take up that entire space. But I did tuck some American Dream pink coreopsis at the base, which are perennials, and they'll bloom lovely pink colors. Wind's picking up. We have some storms coming through. How beautiful is that, y'all? Okay, I love it. Need to use the blower real quick, clean it up. I think it turned out great. This was a big project for me. I know I do a lot of big projects, but starting a garden from scratch is hard, y'all. And I at least had the definition, the layout of the garden, and drip irrigation. But I really like how it turned out. I feel like I was really thoughtful about what plants I selected and where I put them. Had a lot of people comment on the last video that I needed to do trios of everything. That does not always work in a small garden. These Blue Point junipers get up to 4 to 5 feet large. Like 3 of these would swamp the whole thing. And I know I put a couple of spirea, and I know the general rule is odd numbers only. So I like to break the rules sometimes, and I still think it looks lovely. So I have a lot of singles, some doubles, and then I have a lot of trios of stuff like the perennials, which I think has worked really, really well. But the space has filled in beautifully. It looks beautiful now as a baby garden, so I'm really excited to see where it goes as a grown-up garden in the future. But I hope you all have enjoyed this journey. There is going to be one more part 5 of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to break down the exact cost that I spent on this particular garden. I think that's something that gets waved over a lot. This garden was not a cheap garden, but it's not a crazy expensive garden. It's kind of a medium garden. When you're starting with nothing and you have to build from scratch regarding plants, especially foundation plants, it can get super pricey. So I'm going to be breaking down the cost of each of the plants and the mulch and the cost of the compost and the fertilizer, all the things that I spent, every single penny I spent on this, break it down, show y'all what all is involved. We'll also go into depth on a lot of this, and then we'll talk about how I could have saved money and how I could have spent more money as well. But I want to make sure I go through that. So that'll be a part 5 coming out next week. All right, you all, let me know your comments. Let me know what your thoughts are on the finished product. I'm very proud. I'm very excited. It feels very much like my mother-in-law. It feels beautiful. It feels soft. It feels feminine, which is totally her. Some really great textures, and I think this space is going to do really well. I think that I will bring y'all back to revisit later on in the summer. And then I'll also probably do some adjustments in the fall for her as well, just to give her a little bit of fall color. I did want to say, with this being a brand new garden that is facing west and receives lots and lots of sun, she does have the drip irrigation set to go off every other day for 20 minutes. And that is needed, especially for these brand new plants. Once these foundation plants establish next year, she will not have to run it as often, but we do not want to lose them during the summer. So we will need to be doing that. And I also think getting that water going, all this fresh mulch, compost, fertilizer, and of course all these organic textures and plants that we just planted will really help to boost the life in the garden, the organic life in the garden, like the worms. And so I would like to see some more worms in this space continuing to feed this garden. All right, you all, as always, make sure you like and comment on the video. Every time you like and comment, it helps grow the video so much. And if you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, just drop me an emoji below, letting me know that you made it to the end of the video and you say hi. And be sure to check out my Patreon community. The link is in the video description below. It is all things gardening, all things She's a Mad Gardener. It is where I'm doing all of my social media, and pretty much anything other than YouTube is happening in Patreon. And I just like it. It feels good. People who are there are just people who really actually want to be there. So I really, really like it. It's a fun group of people. There is a free tier that you can join under, and there are additional paid tiers. The higher up you are in the tiers, the more access you get, including additional videos that are exclusive only to high-level patrons, as well as group chats and sharing photos, which is lovely. All right, y'all, as always, she's a mad gardener or a decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.